Hi, I'm Anne McDowell and I'm a freedompreneur and strategic career specialist. Welcome to my coaching video. I'm going to talk to you today about what it takes to be a business owner. I started out in business 11 years ago and I haven't looked back since. But in terms of where I was at in order to make those decisions, I wanted to give you a bit of a heads up on what that was like and to see if you can appreciate and understand where it might be a very similar story to where you are right at the moment. So we'll just rock back the clock and then put your feet up and sit with me, and I will go through the reasons why I actually went into business for myself and why I'm encouraging other people to do so as well if that's what their heart desires. Firstly, if it's not what your heart desires, that's absolutely fine. You can excel at what you do at somebody else's place of business. And my programs that I'll talk to you a little bit about later in the webinar will help you do that as well. My background has been in a whole range of different things. Learning and development has been the predominant amount where I've spent the predominant amount of my time in a leadership and management role and in teaching others. In Australia we have what we call accredited training, which means that we actually have to be certified to be a trainer, and we actually have to look at when we're developing training programs and teaching people how to do different things, that they are aligned with a qualification. So my background has been teaching people how to operate a small business, be a good leader, an effective leader or manager in a high level position, senior management position, and it's all been stemming towards a qualification outcome. So the students, the people that I've been involved with, work towards a qualification. And we have that, what we call a vocational education training system in Australia, which leads on from high school and sort of in between high school and university. And it's recognised vocationally, so not everybody wants to do a degree, but yet if you want to actually do a degree, this is a good stepping stone into that pathway as well. So my background has been then teaching other trainers how to become trainers, or adult teachers, and has also been looking at how to help the leaders of today and the leaders of tomorrow be effective leaders, whether they be in their own small business or in somebody else's business. So all facets of business leadership and ownership is where I've been at. In 2003, after several senior leadership and management roles within a training organisation, I decided that I really wanted to do things for myself. There were things that were my passions in life, and I really wanted to explore those passions and work for myself. I did have very good role models. My parents had been in business for themselves and just recently retired, but they were working in their own business together, and they had been working together in a small business for 45 years. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do that, and I don't know if I could do that with, my husband or wife, but you never know. But in terms of that, they worked very hard and in a multitude of small businesses. And I guess my business ethic was to be in small business was developed from a very early age. So it was always a passion. It was always something I wanted to do down the track. I decided to become a consultant, and I put together my own business framework looking at the learning and development side of human resources, and also in the professional writing side. So I develop people. That's what I do. I help people, whether it be training and development or writing the people's resume to get them into a new job, do interview counselling, interview coaching, you name it, I was doing it. And that was stemming from the fact that I had trained and have a master degree in human resource management and industrial relations. So it was very much focused on the human resources and soft skills side of human nature. In my master degree, I specialised in leadership and organisational change. So it was very much a passion of mine. I really wanted to ensure that that's what I was trying to teach for the tomorrows. I don't know about you, but I have had more than my fair share of horrible bosses. And it kind of led me to think along the lines that, I really want to teach people how to be better people and how to be better leaders. I came across some shockers in my career, and I don't know whether it was just the luck of the draw or whether it was poor training, but both male and female, but particularly female leaders were shocking. Absolute shockers. Yelling and screaming at people, slamming doors in front of people's faces, in people's faces, being the nitpicker over the shoulder, being the person who was jealous of your abilities and ambitions, then stole your ideas to present to senior management as their own ideas. Oh, look, I've had it all. I've also had, the leaders of SLAM, their staff on Facebook, a whole range of different things. Anyway, I didn't like that, and I don't like that, and that's not me. I think that if, you need to be an adult about grievances and talk to the person involved rather than spread it through social media. I think that's a very immature and sad way to go about resolving any kind of issue. So combined with all of those things, I thought to myself, I need to spread a message. I've got this passion about leadership and good leadership and effective leadership that I wanted to share with the world. And I thought the only way I can do that is through my coaching programs. So I put together some coaching programs, which I'll tell you about shortly. But one of the things I think, in terms of my business success is the fact that, I do what I love. And that's one of the biggest inner secrets that I'm going to share with you in this webinar, is that you need to be able to find something that you love. Now, it might be a hobby that you think you can turn into a business. Or it might be something that you've got a passion for, like it might be physical fitness when you become a personal trainer and you're helping people to gain, reclaim their life in terms of fitness and health. Or it might be, you might be a dog walker who wants to get the best of both worlds and enjoy the animals that you are around and be with animals all the time, and then help others in terms of walking the dogs or whatever it happens to be. It could also be the fact that you are a distributor of marketing products, or anything that you feel is going to do some good for you, for your friends, your family, for humanity, for people to try and look at having a better life for themselves. Your business idea may have been bubbling inside you for years and years and years and years, and you're now wanting to go, well, I'm ready. I'm sick of the 9 to 5. I'm sick of having everybody else tell me what to do in my life. I was tired of being tired to be not able to take a holiday when I wanted to take it. In the place that I worked with, a training organisation, we were forced to have all our holidays at Christmas time when the company shut down for the Christmas break. So I felt I wanted to have more control over what I did in terms of being able to go where I wanted to go, do what I wanted to do, and also work with people who really excited me and people who really engaged me, and being able to watch people grow from the very beginning. In my career, I've done a lot of training of different levels of people in terms of where their career expectations are. So I've worked with high-level executives. I've worked with people who are moving up through the ranks in their life's journey. I've also worked with people who are starting out in their life's journey, and I've worked with people who have been what I would call chronically unemployed, people who have been long-term unemployed or who are in receipt of welfare payments and that sort of thing from a government system. In Australia, we have a welfare system where it acts as a safety net for people who are fallen on hard times, or whether they are been suddenly made redundant or out of a job, and it acts as a safety net so that people actually get an unemployment benefit, a payment, until they can find a new job. I know that the UK has a very similar system. It's called the dole here, and I think it's called the dole there as well. But what tends to happen is that these people become a bit institutionalized and stay within the system because they're stuck within their own dramas. Sometimes these are self-imposed dramas, and sometimes these are dramas that they can't necessarily get out of. Yesterday I was doing my monthly training at the unemployment service, and I came across a couple of different interesting characteristics of the people who were there. Two of whom were 19 and 20 and were raring to go, were looking really excited about their life, and then a person who was a little bit older was very much angry with the world, and it's a very depressing sort of cycle for us to be in on the outside looking in. So what my purpose in life is to be able to reach people of all types and shapes and sizes and backgrounds, to try and influence them in a positive way to make good changes in their life. And that's one of the things that I'm so passionate about in my training programs and also helping people discover what they want to do in business, is that these yearnings that come from within are very much about your own life's journey. What makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you want to get out of bed every day. For me, it's about being able to help people on any level, on any given day, move their life forward. So it could be, that 19-year-old that I was talking about was an incredible young lady, and she has a background in makeup artistry, but in doing special effects. So I was able to help her by giving her some knowledge and a touch with a program that might help her expand her knowledge and go into business for herself, that will be funded by a government program, initiative by the government. So that was that young lady. Yesterday I was also speaking with a person who is looking at getting into business for themselves for the very first time in a completely different area. So it's very much about coming into contact with amazing people who really want to contribute and make the world a better place. And that's one of the things that I've been talking about a lot with people recently, is making the world a better place. If you listen to the news, you would think that there was nothing in the world that was going on that was happy. And it couldn't be further from the truth. There are so many things going on that are inspiring, that are gut-wrenchingly amazing. New developments in science, new developments in health and in industry and in technology. There's a lot of stuff going on that is incredibly happy. That's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the things that make people happy and make people succeed in life and be a success. Success is different to everybody. I mean, I wrote on a Facebook posting this morning that I want to make a difference to the world. I want to find causes that I can contribute to because I'm being successful in my business. And I don't want fame. I don't want celebrity. I'm not interested in celebrity. That's not me. I just want to do things quietly. I want to be able to be successful in my business, help others be successful in their business so that it pays it forward for somebody else. I was in contact with somebody, contacted me on Facebook last night actually, and said, good on you for the things that you're doing because you're giving back to society. Now, I'm not blowing my own trumpet about things. I'm just giving back very quietly, and I'd rather give it anonymously too. I don't want the notoriety from it. That's what makes me happy. So the other thing that makes me happy is looking at lifelong learning. That's another insider secret, is that you continue to learn on your journey. When you're in business, you're forever learning. Forever learning. Different technology, different ways of doing things, getting in contact with incredibly amazing, inspiring people and learning from them, learning what they do, learning what they don't do. It's not about copying, because I don't believe in copying, but it's about looking at the benchmarks of leadership and benchmarks of business and thinking, well, if they do that, then that's a pretty good way to move forward for my own business as well. So I'd like to talk to you now about moving forward in business and making decisions. Firstly, the other insider secret that you need to know is that you can't do it on your own. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you're incapable. That doesn't mean to say that you're not able to make incredible business decisions on your own. You can. What I mean by you can't do it on your own is that you do need to have someone on your side, getting your back, all of that sort of thing, to help you along your business journey. When I was starting out in business, I didn't engage in a coach, and I should have. I had the wrong way of thinking in the respect that I was teaching people. I thought to myself, I'm teaching people how to operate a business. What is a coach going to give me that I don't already know? Because I know the fundamentals, I know how to do marketing, I know how to do this and that and everything else. But I was wrong. And I've just recently, in the last 6 months, last 12 months, actually it's 12 months now, time flies, I've engaged in a coach. And I can tell you what, my business has just gone exponentially off the Richter in terms of being able to look at the evolution of my business and the introduction of new things and new concepts into the business. I'd been in business for 11 years and I wouldn't say I was stale. Well, no, far from it. But I needed a little boost, like everybody else needs a boost occasionally. And I needed somebody to bounce some ideas off that were not connected to me and in my financial or my family circuit. And I engaged in a business coach, and wow, it's the relationship is phenomenal, and I'm so excited about the things that I've got coming forward in the next 6 months, 12 months. You can't do it on your own. I know you probably think you can, and you will be able to do lots on your own, but you do need to have a coach. That is a very wise and sage advice, whether you choose me or you choose somebody else. That doesn't matter to me. All I care about is that if you're going to go into business for yourself, that you do make an investment into your future and get engaged in a coach. Be the best decision you ever did. A coach is your sounding board. A coach is the person who, or mentor, whatever you like to call them, is the person who's there to help you. They've been around the traps. They know what everything is like. They know how to help you move forward. And sometimes it's just a matter of saying to you, well, that's a great idea, but I really think you should do it this way, or have you thought of this, or I don't think the current market's ready for that. Maybe think about something else or a different strategy. Priceless. So I want to talk to you about that first, and I want to talk to you one of the other things that it holds people back from moving forward in anything in life, and particularly when they're wanting to move into business for the first time, is the word fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear, and you're thinking, oh, that's an interesting one, I'll come back to that. Fear of success, fear of looking silly, fear of turning pear-shaped and being financially ruined, a whole range of different things. And you've probably seen a lot of people, restaurants that pop up or shops that pop up, and in 6 months, 12 months time, they're gone again. That's because the people haven't done enough due diligence and due care in setting up a business, and I can probably guarantee they didn't have a coach either. Now, of course, I can't guarantee your success in any business. No one can. Only you can guarantee your success. But the thing about it is you have a better chance of success when you plan, when you are, serious about putting the effort in. Because let me tell you, a business doesn't just miraculously happen overnight. And you're not going to go from 0 to 6 figures either in overnight. The people who claim that they do that aren't quite telling you the whole truth, because there's a lot of planning, a lot of infrastructure development, and a lot of thinking and time that's got to be put into a business to make it successful. It's not a business. A business is not something that you can just go, okay, I'll spend a couple of hours a day and it'll potter along just nicely. No. You've got to get to a certain point and certain strategies in order for that to put in place in order for that to happen. I've been in business 11 years, and I would suggest that, with all the launching that I'm doing and all the different products that I'm putting into place, yeah, I'm working pretty hard, but I still have the freedoms to do what I want to do because I'm smart about what I do, and I'm clever about how I actually put it all together. Now, I just want to get back to the word fear. Fear could also stand for fantasized experiences appearing real. FEAR. Fantasized experiences appearing real. So, when we're looking at fear, we all have a certain degree of fear when we're doing something new and for the very first time. Some people will say to themselves in their little inner voice, oh yes, I can do that. Yes, I'm all over it. That's fine. Whereas other people let that fear and that doubt and that the negative Nellies around them influence what they do. Now, that's all very well for me to say, and I've got negative Nellies and in the surrounding vicinity who have said to me in the past, that won't work. You're not going to be able to do that. It's not going to work. You're going to fail. It's not going to be successful. And I've really had to push those things aside. A business owner requires a tough skin. You need to be able to have a vision and a purpose and be determined to succeed in that vision and that purpose. You can't let other people influence you in terms of negatively. Let the positive shine off. Let the positive rub off, and do anything they say that's positive. But I would be very careful and cautious about believing people who are negative, and I'll tell you why. When you hear the people say, "Oh, it's not going to work," "Oh, you're taking a big risk," "Oh, gee, you're taking a big risk," as soon as you hear people start to say that and they start to really show that negativity, it's because you're tapping into their fear. So, they're saying to you, oh my goodness, I wouldn't be able to take that risk. That risk would frighten me. Therefore, I don't think you should do that either. It's too scary. I would be too scared to do that for myself, so I don't think you should do that either. So when you can think about it and you can separate yourself and you can see that they're well-meaning, but they're tapping into their own fear of doing anything that's risky, then you can understand and appreciate that they're not going to be the ones that are going into business. You are. Now, that doesn't mean to say you don't have a healthy amount of, risk either or fear. That's fine, but you've got to learn to harness it in the right way. Okay, if you said to me, okay, Anne, prove the fact that you can be fearless and jump out of an aeroplane, well, I would be terrified. But I'd have to do a tandem. I'd do a tandem skydive, I think, but I don't think I would jump out on my own and pull the ripcord because I wasn't trained in how to do it. If I spent hours and hours training and learning and putting things into practice and practicing, I would probably do it, yes. When I first started, when I was a child, teenager, I was very shy. I didn't like, because I was a bigger girl, I didn't like drawing attention to myself. I was pretty quiet, fly under the radar kind of gal. And I'd had issues, medical issues with weight gain, for all of my life. I didn't like getting up in front of people. I would rather have the world swallow me up before I would get up in front of an audience. Look at what I do now. I'm in front of a camera, spread out throughout the world, and I address hundreds of people in seminar formats and in training sessions. I have all these eyes on me. And for somebody who didn't want to have those eyes on them, I've kind of picked a wrong kind of career. So in terms of feeling the fear and doing it anyway, I'm a classic example of what I'm preaching. You know, I would suggest that, you know, when I was very young, teenage years, I just suddenly had to overcome it. I was a Rotary Exchange student and I went to live in America for 12 months after I finished my high school here, or graduated here. For those Australians, after I did my HSC, went over to the States for a year. And then all eyes were on me. So the quiet, shy, you know, reserved kind of gal had eyes on her from that time. And I had to do a lot of public speaking during that time. And the only way to overcome any kind of fear is to practice, is to equip yourself with skills that will allow you to do the thing that scares you the most. Eleanor Roosevelt said in one of her quotes, "Do one thing every day that scares you." And I think that's actually a really healthy thing, because then you can overcome your fears. Then you can actually put your fears into perspective. Give you an example, and I'm sure she won't mind me telling, but my mother-in-law, who is the most beautiful woman, I love her to pieces, has a lot of fears and phobias, and she freely admits those. She was going on a cruise recently, into a Pacific Island cruise, and she worried herself nearly ill for 88 days in the lead up to this cruise, because she thought that she was going to be seasick. She felt that she was going to not be able to walk up the gangplank in the first instance, all that sort of thing. Anyway, my husband and I took the whole family to the train station, and, you know, I wished her well, and I said, "Don't worry," because I'd been trying to convince her not to worry about it, but that was talking to a brick wall. She wasn't able to listen. Anyway, she went on the cruise. I went to pick her up from the train station. And I said, "So, how was it?" She said, "It was really good." I was like, "Really? Were you sick?" "No, I wasn't sick at all." I said, "Oh my goodness." And she said, "I'll even go on another cruise." Oh my goodness, I was so excited. She worried herself ill for 88 days. And then when the event came, it wasn't as horrific as she expected. That's what I'm saying about these fantasized experiences appearing real. You know, in business, you cannot go into business expecting the worst outcome. Sometimes it does happen, you know, in terms of, I'm going to be real here. I'm not going to tell you things that don't happen. I read just this week about Richard Branson. You all know who he is. He failed twice in business when he was a teenager. One was a magazine he put together, and can't remember what the other business was. He openly admitted that he failed twice. Now, that was because, and he will also say, because he didn't prepare enough. He had the idea, but he didn't have the rest of it that, you know, that goes along with being in business. But look at him today. Look at Bill Gates. Look at these amazing, amazing entrepreneurs that we see. Steve Jobs was another one. All these amazing people who started out somewhere. They didn't let their fear, their fantasized experiences appearing real, they didn't let that actually happen for them. They probably felt it at some points during their move forward, but they didn't let it stop them. If you've got a business idea and you're wanting to leave your 9 to 5, then you should start doing something about it. You need to start doing something about it, because the only things that you're going to regret in life are the things that you didn't try. Success is very much about looking for opportunities, looking for advantages, and making things happen for yourself. Leonardo da Vinci said, successful people look for circumstances, and when they don't find them, they create them. You need to make things happen for yourself. So these programs that I've got are about looking at your business idea and growing your business idea. They're looking at all aspects of business and how you become a success. You're looking at whether it's a bricks and mortar business, a consultancy, whether you're a dog walker, whatever kind of business idea or concept you have, these programs will work for it. So, you could be owning a restaurant, or you could be a consultant or a coach. It doesn't matter. These programs are the same concepts for everybody. It's looking at how you develop communication skills, time management skills, looking at how you develop customer relationships, how you develop marketing and business planning, strategic planning, how you do all of this stuff is what's in the programs. So making decisions in your life about moving forward into your business is a very exciting time, and it needs to be an exciting time for you. It's very much about, you can't go into business if you're not excited about it, because truly, stay in your 9 to 5, because there are challenges in business that you don't want to face if you're not ready for them. But in terms of that, I can't think of anything I would rather be doing. Honestly, if somebody pulled out the most exciting job in the world, I'd have to say, I don't know, I think I'd turn it down, because I love what I do. I escaped from my 9 to 5. I'm done with all of that. I work from home. I've worked from home 11 years. 11 years I've worked in a home office environment where I've gone out to other workplaces, and then come back and thought, thank heavens I don't work in that workplace. Well, thank heavens I can retreat back to my beautiful office and my home, where I feel at peace, and I can generate great ideas, and I can be creative, and I can do the things that I want to do. In life I think is very short. You've got to be able to grasp opportunities when they present themselves. I think you need to be able to really hear what's going on in your heart and in your inner soul, and go, well, life's got to be better than this. I've got to be doing something positive with my life. I am doing something positive with my life. I have a freedom-based business where I can work anywhere in the world. I need my laptop, I need my phone, and probably the little camera, which is also on my phone, and I can work anywhere. I need an internet connection, and I can connect with my clients anywhere in the world. Recently, my husband, even though we couldn't actually go forward, but my husband came home from work one night and said, work are going to send me to China, can you come with me? I said, yes, can come. I didn't have to ask a boss. I didn't have to ask anybody else. I said, yes, I can come, because the nature of what I do is that I can my job is communication. And I can communicate with everybody, anybody, anywhere in the world. I can even communicate with the space station if I wanted to, or the people who wanted to engage in my programs. And I'm being funny about that in that respect, but I can work with anyone, anywhere in the world. Your business could be that too. You could be doing a whole range of different things. It could be even medical diagnostics. I know that's going to be a thing into the future, about people who are engaging with people over the phone. In Australia, there's a large amount of remote communities where they can't. It's 2 days drive to the nearest doctor. So instead of the doctor flying out or them driving 2 days for medical consultations, they're doing it through the internet now. So nothing's impossible. The thing about it is that your desire has to be there. Your desire to succeed, your desire to make a difference to people's lives, and your desire to make a difference in life for yourself has to be the number one reason why you, or number 1, 2, 3, but number one reasons for you to go into business for yourself, to make a better life for yourself and for the world. You might have the most amazing, life-changing business concept, and if you don't share it with the world, that is such a shame. whether it be with me or someone else, you need a coach in order to move that forward. You need somebody to help you realize what that dream is so that you can fly. A coach doesn't necessarily have to be around you forever, but once you engage in a coach, you generally tend to keep on that coaching line because it feels good. You've got somebody always at your back and holding your hand sometimes through some difficult things. It's not I'll start again. I was going to say, you can't be everything to everybody, and you can't know everything to start with either. That's why a coach is there, is to help you and guide you and be the expert to at least give you some grounding and sounding board options. I surrounded myself with a lot of experts in my business, and I talk to them about different things, and I don't necessarily pay them as a coach, but I talk to them about different things in life and in different ways to move forward. I also have a fantastic network of colleagues that I catch up with for coffee with, so that I can learn what they're doing and what branches of development they're going into. It's a whole networking collaboration. The whole networking collaboration is centered on communication. That's why I can work with anywhere in the world. I set up my business so that I could also have freedoms to maybe pick up my niece from school, she lives locally, or go shopping or go to China spontaneously, as I said before. Although we couldn't end up going because he was needed back here, the prospect was I didn't have to ask anybody. I didn't have to ask anybody's permission. I could get up and go. Got my passport, can go. So that's the thing that I want you to appreciate. It's not about earning $1 zillion, and if earning $1 zillion is what your goal is, fantastic. Mine's not quite a zillion, but but I've still got a really wonderful and healthy goals in mind, and I'm reaching hard for them. It can be whatever you want it to be. The thing about it is you have to take the first step. The first step is talking to me. Why don't we set up a time where you can talk to me via Skype, which is face-to-face, and it's free. If you've never heard of Skype before, it's an application that you can, or a program that you can download onto your computer. It's free, and you can talk with a video camera to me from anywhere in the world, and we can set up a time. I'm talking to quite a few people internationally at the moment, so I'm used to setting up times that not in the middle of the night for you or for me. So we can work out a time where we can sit down and talk for 30 minutes. It's free, and I can give you 30 minutes of my time so that we can discuss what your plans are, what is your idea, and whether this is going to be suitable for you. I so wanted to be able to be the best thing and best decision and best investment that you've ever made. Regardless of whether it's with me or with someone else, you do need to invest in a coach in order to move you forward into business. And that's just the way it is. Because the people who succeed quicker are the people who engage in a coach. The people who tend to struggle a bit, where there's so much technology, so much you need to know, they're the people who don't have a coach to help them. So, that's entirely your decision, but I can tell you, had I had my time over again, when I first started out in business, I would have engaged a coach. That's how, and I've survived 11 years through the GFC, through all sorts of different things. But, in terms of that, what I also I get from a coach is energy. It's amazing to be able to talk to somebody. I often can't, shut down for hours after I've spoken to my coach because I'm so excited and energized by what we talk about, and the inspirations that come from her and from me to her to me, and then I can pass on to others. It's just amazing. So the ball is on your court. It's really very much about if you are ready to move forward. I only take people on who are ready. And that is, I don't want indecision. I don't want, the people to say, oh, I don't know if I will. If you're in that state of mind, you're not ready for business. And that's not meant to be a harsh truth, but it really is. I don't want you to waste your money, and I don't want you to waste your effort either. You've got to be ready to go, excited, visualizing these amazing things that are going to happen to you so that you can move forward in business. So my 6-month program is called Leadership and Business Brilliance, and my 12-month program is called Leadership and Business Mastery. Now, both of those programs have some interconnecting features in them. So if you start off on the 6-month one, you can transit into the 12-month one. With both programs, they start off with the visualization of what your business is going to look like, who your clients are going to be, what it looks like, how you're going to actually formulate your business name, your imagery, your branding, a whole range of different things, what you feel is going to look like. And we can work together. If you're not quite sure yet and you want to nut out a few ideas, we can work together on that. Each program will have a whole range of different things involved in it, but each program does have a self-discovery and self-mastery part of it. It also has a reflective mode at the end of the program, end of each time period. It's all about where we've come from, where we're about to go to. With the 12-month program, the Mastery program, it's looking at everything much more in depth. It's going to be the bells and whistles of the actual program, but sometimes people might want to start with 6 months and say, okay, well, I just want to see if I can get the 6-month program underway and feel more comfortable with the coaching concept, and then you can move into the 12-month one, not a problem at all. With the programs, they are for the serious. They aren't for people who are indecisive about whether they're going to go into business or not. I think that it would be an utter waste of your time and money if you engaged in any kind of coaching program if you weren't serious about your business and being in business for yourself. Now, being in business isn't for the faint-hearted, but on the same hand, I've had the most incredible rewards from being in business for myself. And they aren't necessarily connected to physical things. They are connected to life-changing circumstances. My own life-changing circumstances, for my own personal self, but also when I see and experience and hear other people having changes in themselves as well. With business, with the fact that you're coming into contact with a multitude of different people, it's their experiences that make you energized, that make me get out of bed every day. When I'm teaching somebody or coaching somebody and they say, wow, that one thing that you told me saved me, saved me from hours and hours of work, or that one thing that technique you showed me changed my life, that changes my life, and that's why I do it. I do these kinds of things because I want to. With business and with the decisions to move forward, the programs are really for people who are bubbling with excitement and are wanting to go. I don't want to waste your time if you aren't really ready to go and really ready to make a difference. Your difference could be a whole range of, it's obviously going to be unique to you, but it could be a whole range of different things. You could be ready to inspire the world, you could be ready to inspire your neighbourhood, you could be ready to inspire yourself and your immediate circle. It doesn't matter, and there are no judgments here about whether your programs are life-changing or not. It's very much about finding something that you want to do and wanting to be successful at it. My aim is to make you successful at what you want to do and help you achieve what your goals are. I'm not here to say you're going to do this and overnight become an overnight sensation, because it takes time and effort, and you will be rewarded for the time and effort that you put in. So in terms of your decision making, I think that the next step forward is for you to think about where you want to be. Do you want to be in your 9 to 5 work life for now until forever? I know I didn't. I couldn't wait to go into my own small business. And actually it was New Year's Eve 2002 when I made my decision. I cried into my bubbles. I cried into my champagne that particular evening because I was so dreading having to go back to work for a tyrant. And I thought, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to control my own destiny, control my own income, control, who I work with, what I do, where I go, who I see. Not be on a time clock, every 5 seconds for somebody else. And I didn't want to make anybody else rich. I wanted to make me rich. Or, at least contribute to my own success. In that particular circumstance, there was a gentleman and I both doing the same sort of role, and he was being paid more than what I was. So the glass ceiling was still apparent in my world. And I thought, I don't want to have my destiny controlled by somebody else. I wanted to get into the driver's seat of my life, and I wanted to put I wanted to put it in first gear or second gear or whatever gear I chose. And if I wanted to have the radio up while I was driving, then that's what I would do. I guess the analogy is that you've got to move forward in life to do the things that you want to do, that you don't feel like you're being stopped by anybody or limited by anybody. And I felt all along that I was being limited in how much I could earn, limited in what I could do, what tasks I had to do, who I could interact with, who I had to do business with, what tasks I had to do. And I wasn't being able to be creative and be myself. I had to be someone else or someone else's mould. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So I guess the thing is, when the pain is enough, when the pain is significant for you, when you are losing sleep on a Sunday night, not wanting to go back to work on a Monday, there's signs that you need to start moving forward for yourself. Now, I can't make you move forward. No one can. It's ultimately up to you. But even if you're working your 9 to 5 and you see your dream being 6 to 12 months away, there's no reason why you can't start now and have an exit strategy. Use this as an exit strategy in terms of formulating your business, building it while you're still earning an income from someone else. Still have the opportunities to learn about things from another source and get an income while you're starting to gather momentum for yourself. I think that's a really good strategy, because when I went back to work after that New Year's Eve where I was crying in my bubbles, I went back with an exit strategy. I knew that I was going to then capitalise on every cent that I was going to make at that company, so that then built me towards my future. So that's what I did. So if you're in that situation where it's not going to be possible for you to launch into your own business tomorrow, then use this coaching program as part of your exit strategy. If you are in business now for yourself, then you should be engaging in a coach, whether it be me or someone else. You must be engaging in a coach, I think, in order to get the best out of your investment. Yes, everybody says, "Oh, I can't afford it now," and I was also the same. But I said to myself, my goodness, if I don't seize this opportunity with this coach is going to disappear on me. In terms of I won't have access to her. Her programs will be full. I won't be able to do it. So I'll have to find it from somewhere. And the thing is, I didn't hesitate. I could see the value in a coach immediately. And I could see value in the coach that I engaged immediately, because she talked my language. What she said really clicked with me. And that's what I hope that, what I'm saying will click with you. That, I'm here to lead and guide and help you, but be your friend. Be your friend in business, because I can tell you there's lots of people who won't be your friend. But I want to be your friend so that I can help you move forward, and I want your success. Your success doesn't mean my success. Your success means your success. And I want to be a part of that. So that you can realise what your dreams are. And this part of your journey is putting your dreams into reality. This is what I call your dreams into reality journey. And I think that, if you're listening to this webinar and you've managed to stay with me all this time, then I think that you're formulating your plan ready to go. The next step we need to talk about is you and I getting together and having a chat. I'm on Skype, and Skype is actually a communication tool which is free for those of you who don't know what it is, where it is hooking up with a webcam and a microphone and basically a program that will allow you to speak with other people around the world for free. Of course, you can join as payment plans and all that sort of thing as well, and very cheaply, something like $49.95 a month or something like that. But it also has the ability to be free. It has a unique little password name, and I do all my coaching on Skype. So if you do become a client on board, basically you will need to invest in Skype, whether it be the free version or a $4.95 a month version. Anyway, in terms of that, it allows us to then talk face to face, and it gives us an opportunity to then engage in what it's all going to be all about. And I can find out about you, because I'm wanting to learn about your business and what is exciting to you, so that I can, help you in your journey. I know I'm going to be speaking to a number of different people in the next week or so about their experiences and also, about their visions. And that's what I'm so excited about. This is a very rewarding part of what I do, is learning about somebody else's business idea, and so that I can help you energize that idea into something that is going to be a success for you, that will earn you the money you want, the lifestyle you want, the career you want, the infamy or fame, let's say fame rather than infamy, but the fame that you're wanting, perhaps, if that's what you're wanting to do, but certainly lifting your profile. So that's the next step. If you want to, you can email me at ann@amc.id.au. I'll repeat that, ann@amc.id.au, or message me on Facebook, so that I know that you're going to be the one that you want to have a 30-minute free discovery session with me, and we'll sit down. It won't cost you anything. We'll sit down and actually have a meeting for 30 minutes, so that we can nut out some potential ideas or talk about your business idea and where you're wanting to take it. So I really think that, we're coming to the end of the webinar now. Thank you for hanging in with me. But I think that it's really up to you now to make the next step. If you want to have a chat with me, it's a no obligation chat, and it will be a free 30-minute discussion, what we call a discovery session, and that way you can see if it's going to be for you. I do hope that if you've survived the webinar and you've survived what I've got to say, that it's going to be because you want to move forward with me, and I would really love for that to happen. So again, thank you. I appreciate your time. I know that it's taken a time out of your busy schedule, so I appreciate you staying with me right till the end. I hope that you and I can then work together into the future and make your life a success, so you can then grasp onto the dreams, the lifestyle, and the vision that you want for your life and for your family. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll hope to speak with you soon. Bye for now.